Ooh, doggies, I'm back. I know you missed me, 'cause I sure as heck missed all y'all. I'll tell you what, lots happened since we last saw each other. It's been a couple months. I've been busy. Well, first of all, let's start with the bad news. Me and my Aunt Mildred, well, we got divorced. So we are no longer a couple. But we're still family, and that's important. We'll be fine. Don't worry about us. The family reunion this year is going to be a little awkward, but yeah, we'll be all right. We'll just sit at different picnic tables. We'll get along just fine. So don't you worry about us, and especially don't worry about me, because Skeeter is footloose and fancy-free and ready to go out on the prowl again. Yeah, that's right. Look out, girls, 'cause here comes Skeeter. Yeah, boy, I'm a chick magnet. I'll tell you something right now. Yep, they stick to me like glue everywhere I go. I'm just peeling them off. Sorry, girl. I ain't got room for you. I got all these other ones on my back right now. I'm trying to deal with. Yeah, I think my Aunt Mildred, when we were married, she had a problem with that. Everywhere we went, girls coming up to me left and right. Oh, Skeeter, I want some of your Skeeter. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, there's only so much Skeeter to go around. All right, now, enough about me and my trail of broken hearts that I leave behind me everywhere I go. Let's get to these here comments. This first here comment is from I'm my own best friend. Hey, that sounds like me. I'm my own best friend too. And this comment is from the Ernie Ball Music Man Majesty Snob, plays a Schecter C7 SLS Elite. He says, send it in for a setup. Lost a few points on that one. Totally joking. Yeah, you got him, did you? I actually think it's really cool that you're introducing other guitars to the show. You know something? I agree with that. I think it's cool that Jarrod's introducing other guitars to the show as well. I'm getting sick and tired of him walking around with his stupid Majesty guitars thinking he's all that in a bag of chips. Listen here, man. You gotta start using other guitars so you can relate to the common folk out there. Yeah, you know why he plays them Music Mans, don't you? It's 'cause he sucks at guitar and he needs something really good to make up for all his shortcomings. 'Cause he's a crappy guitar player. Don't tell him I told you. He's real touchy about that. He's like a little sissy. You say, hey man, you suck on guitar, and he goes crying home to his mama, hiding under his bed for hours. And you gotta lure him out with some kind of gummy bear snack or something. Glad you commented, and it's about damn time he started using some common guitars that, you know, everybody else uses. Anywho, let's hear what old Gummy Bear's got to say about it.
Well, thanks for commenting. Yeah, so I'm glad I got this guitar as well because, I mean, to be honest with you guys, I got this guitar here for one reason and one reason only. I bought it for the show. If I didn't have this channel, I wouldn't have bought the guitar, and it's not a slight to the guitar. I'm trying to educate myself by having different guitars on the show so that I can get different perspectives on how these guitars and the pickups that these guitars have interact with all of my amplifiers, so I can better understand what other people out there are, you know, dealing with when they're playing through these different amplifiers. And that's really the reason why I bought the guitar. Now, that said, I'm really glad that I picked this particular guitar out because it looks really cool, as you can see. It plays nice, it sounds fantastic, and I've always been curious about the Fishman Fluence modern pickups, and now I've had my questions answered about them. I always wondered if I'd like them or not. I do like them. They are different. It's taken me a little bit of getting used to. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying what I'm learning from the guitar, and seriously, I'm learning a lot from having this guitar. So again, I'm getting a lot of great perspective by having this guitar, and I honestly wouldn't mind adding maybe one other one at a lower price to the collection as well, so I can gain even more perspective. I'm really trying to have a better understanding of what the viewers of this channel are, you know, playing through when they're playing all these different amplifiers, and I feel like having different guitars is definitely going to help me with that, because pickups do matter, different guitars do matter, different price points of guitars really matters a lot. So I want to be able to apply that to you know, my playing with all these amplifiers, so that again I can get a better perspective. And you know, the more I learn, the more we can all learn together, and I've learned a lot from you guys as well, and I want to continue with learning myself so that I can better understand things as I play these amplifiers and gain perspective from having different guitars. I think I said perspective 37 times in that little passage there, so it's time to move on to the next question.
Well, this next question's from a feller named Josh Sprout. What's going on, Josh? How you doing, man? Well, he says, so I recently bought the Badlander 50, and I'm not sure if it's a dud or if I'm dialing it in wrong, but there's very little saturation. Even with it dialed into the settings you have on your videos, it sounds very weak. But yours sounds amazing, and I love your videos, man. Oh man, now old Jarrod's head's gonna blow up so big when he falls down, he's gonna be in another zip code. Man, you shouldn't be giving him so many compliments. He already thinks he's all high and mighty and he's the god of YouTube. Man, I'll tell you what, you guys should start telling him how bad he sucks. Bring him back down to earth or something. Man, he can't even fit in his britches anymore. Oh, well, let's hear what old Balloon Head has to say about your question.
Well, thanks so much for the comment and for the kind words, Josh. I really appreciate it. And I'll try to help you best I can with the Badlander. Now, it is a very sculpted amp, and it's almost like a minimalist kind of, you know, approach that I think Mesa took with this amp. They're giving you just enough of everything that you need. So yeah, the amp doesn't have a billion tons of gain in it, but it does have enough. And I feel like if it's got enough for me, because I'm a total gainiac, then it should have enough for most people. But I can totally understand why some people might struggle with this amplifier when it comes to the gain structure, because I crank the gain all the way up and it just does it for me for rhythms and leads though. So it does have enough for me. But the thing that I would probably have to ask you is, what guitar are you playing it through and what pickups do you have? Because I have a feeling that if you have lower output pickups, that could definitely be causing the issue that you're having with this amplifier. Because of the minimalistic aspects of this amplifier, especially in the gain department, a lower output pickup is going to struggle with this amplifier big time. You really need to slam this amplifier really hard with hot pickups, with a lot of output, and a really good overdrive pedal that you have the settings cranked on. Like on my overdrive, I'm using the Mud Killer with this amplifier, and I'll do this in this example here. I have the level cranked all the way up on it, and I got the gain at 9 o'clock, and I have the tone at about 3 o'clock on it right now. And that's basically how I have it set up. I'm slamming this amp about as hard as you can slam it. And I am getting a really good response and enough gain with the amplifier when I do that. So definitely try to look into making sure that your overdrive pedal is set up in kind of extreme settings. That will definitely help you. Also, make sure, again, you have hot pickups, like really hot pickups. That will help you as well. Crank the gain, crank the bass all the way up on the amplifier, and that should do it for you. And I'll play it for you right now and tell you what I'm experiencing with the settings on the amplifier and the pedal together. And like I said, I really like this amp a lot with these settings. So let's go ahead and hear some riffs with the amplifier right now. If this advice helps you, hopefully that will get you into the territory that you want to be with this amplifier. So hopefully that mix and those riffs that I played before I did the mix helped you out a little bit with showing what this amp's capable of. I mean, it definitely has what it takes to do all that stuff. You just got to really push it hard and get some hot pickups and a good overdrive pedal. If you're using like a grid slammer or like an older style overdrive, like maybe even a TS9 or whatever, those pedals probably aren't going to push this amp as hard as it needs to be pushed. Get a more modern pedal. The pedal that I would recommend the most for you right now with this amplifier would definitely be the Mud Killer. This pedal has impressed the hell out of me, and every amp that I've used it with so far, it sounds perfect with. So get a Mud Killer or something more modern and try slamming the Badlander with that, and I think you're going to have really good luck with it. So I hope this really helped you, and again, thanks so much for commenting and for watching the videos. I really appreciate it very much.
And this next question's from a feller named Rich Vick, and he says, Jarrod, how come you never really demo Friedman, Sirs, or Marshalls? I think you did the JJ, but preferred the Mark 525. Well, Rich, I'll tell you right now why Jarrod doesn't play those amps very often. That's because they don't have enough gain in them to hide all of his mistakes. You see, when he plays one of them low gain amps, it's like getting pantsed in front of your whole audience while you're playing. That amp just comes up and pantses them. That's right, all his mistakes are right there for you to see, for the whole world to laugh at. And he don't want to get pantsed by an amp, so these amps here, they're never going to pants him. Well, let's hear what old Poopy Pants has to say about that.
Hey Rich, thanks so much for the question. I appreciate it. I actually have reviewed quite a few Friedman amps on this channel. I've done the JJ, and I've also done the HBE and a couple other ones. And I've also reviewed a Marshall JVM 205, I believe it was, on the channel several months back, and I actually liked that amp. It was actually pretty cool. Now, I haven't had a chance to review a Sir yet, but if I ever get a chance, I would definitely do that. I think the PT100 would be awesome. I would love to check that amplifier out. But the thing is when it comes down to it, with most of these types of amps, like the Friedmans and the Marshalls, especially the JCM series, those amps just don't work for me typically. I mean, I'm not saying they're not good, it's just they're not really made for metal. So every time I play those with my riffs, for some reason they just don't work. They don't have the texture, and sometimes they don't have enough gain or enough aggression for me. And they could be a little soft on the top end, especially the Friedmans. The Friedmans are too smooth for me. They're good amps, don't get me wrong, but for what I do and all the riffs that I play and the type of music that I play, I always find those amplifiers lacking in the texture and aggression category. You know, the funny thing about the Friedmans is every time I see a guitar player play through one of those, I'm always like, wow, that thing sounds amazing. Maybe I should give it another chance. And then I go to plug into it and I think I broke it. They just don't work for what I do. I get why people like them. I have a lot of respect for Dave Friedman and the products that he makes. I'm sure they're great, but they just aren't to my taste at all. And I review them on the show, not for myself, but for you guys, because I know they're popular amps and people want to know what they sound like. And I can make them work for me when I'm playing my songs on the channel and my riffs, but you know, I'd rather have something that has more texture and aggression, and that's just kind of what I go after. And like I said before, they're not really made for metal guys. They're made for classic rock or just straightforward rock and roll type stuff, and they do a really good job with that. But us metal guys, you know, we want something that's just gonna break down walls and have tons of aggression to it, and that's what I look for. But I do appreciate your question very much, and I love interacting with you in the comments. You do comment a lot, and I appreciate that. So feel free to look through some of my older videos, because there are a lot of reviews of Friedman amplifiers. And once again, if I get a chance to get my hands on a Sir PT100 or something like that, oh yeah, I'll definitely have that on the channel, because I am curious about that amplifier.
Alright, now this final comment comes from a superhero from one of them there DC or Marvel movies. Wow, this is really cool that we got a superhero commenting on here. This is amazing. I think we've arrived now. This here comment is from the Cyber Mantis. Wow, when your movie comes out next fall, I'm gonna see it. I'll be the first one in line. I'm your biggest fan, Cyber Mantis. This is amazing. Wow, what a small world we live in. Well, let's see what Cyber Mantis has to say. He says, you have an amazing setup in that studio room. You have way more quality gear in there than my local music store. It's amazing how all those mom and pop local music stores never have anything good in them. Just cheap practice crap for beginners. My local store doesn't even have a Boss Katana or a single 4x12 cab. Just crappy practice combo amps. I don't even think they have anything with tubes in it. But if I need a patch cable or some picks or a set of strings, they got that. Whoop-de-doo. I'm so glad we both have the same lingo, Cyber Mantis. I say whoop-de-doo all the time. It's amazing. We could be best friends. Woo! Sorry, I'm kind of getting all jittery like a schoolgirl here reading your comment. This is amazing. Whew! Anyhow, he says, I would love to be able to run down to my local music store and test drive some cool amps and effects. But that ain't gonna happen. So we end up watching channels like yours to get an idea of what quality gear is all about. Otherwise, I would never know. I'm not going to order $50,000 worth of expensive gear, have it all shipped to my house, just so I can play around with it to see what it can do. Then box it all back up and ship it back. That would be stupid. I agree with that. So I'm glad you spend all the money on that cool stuff. Thanks for showing it to us, and you're a really great player. Well, that's really kind of you, Cyber Mantis. I really appreciate them kind words, and I'm honored to read your comment here. Man, I'm going to frame this and hang it on the wall. This is amazing. Well, I'm sure there's no way we're going to shrink Jarrod's big old head down now to its normal size. Not after getting a comment like this from a superhero. Man, I'm really interested to see what he's going to act like from here on out. Well, let's see what old Jarrod has to say about this one. I'm sure he's going to be tickled all kinds of colors.
Cyber Mantis, thank you so much for commenting and for what you said here. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad that you get what it is that I do here. And to expand on what you said a little bit, I mean, I totally get it. Look, I watch YouTube as well. There really isn't a day that goes by that I'm not on YouTube looking for something or trying to learn about something else. And I really love it when I find channels that give me the correct information and they're honest and their demonstrations are done in a professional way where I don't have to doubt whether or not that product is actually as good as they're saying, because I could tell by the professional quality of the demonstration that it's presented properly. And that's what I'm trying to do here for you guys, because I totally understand what you're saying. A lot of us just can't go to any store and have an opportunity to play through all the stuff that I have here. I mean, I know that sounds really weird, but it's true. I mean, how many stores can you go to right now that have the amps on the wall behind me? I don't think there's many stores that could do that. And I'm not patting myself on the back or bragging here. I'm just saying it's just the way it is. So you have to come to YouTube and you have to see what's out there. And you're just hoping, like, please, God, let this guy be honest. I hope he's not over processing everything and doing all this pre and post processing to his mixes and, you know, the sounds that he's getting out of these amplifiers or modelers or whatever it is that he's playing. Because I totally get where you're coming from. I mean, nobody wants to go to a YouTube channel and watch a video on a product and have it sound amazing and then get it and go, oh my God, this thing is not anything like it sounded like on the video, because they did all this over processing to it and fixing it. I just don't want you to ever experience that with me. I'm going to give you the raw tones that I'm getting out of all the gear that I play on here, and I'm going to give you the honest truth of what I think of it. I'm going to tell you what I like about it, and I'm also going to tell you about things where I think you know, maybe the product could improve a little bit, or if, depending on your needs, maybe things that you may or may not like about the product as well. I'm trying to give you as much perspective as I can when it comes to all these products. That's why I bought this other guitar, so I can gain some perspective and share that perspective with you as well. I mean, this is more of a consumer advocate channel than it is a gear demonstration channel. I mean, yes, I demo gear, and yes, I play music, and I get excited about some of the things that I play on this channel. I mean, yeah, absolutely I do that, because there's a lot of stuff on here that I really genuinely like. But what I'm hoping on your side of the screen is what you're getting from me is the honest truth about the gear. And I do interact with people in the comments all the time, and I do get a lot of questions, whether it's here on YouTube or through Facebook or through my email. And I try to answer everybody's questions as quickly as I can, and I'm always going to give you the honest truth about what it is that you're looking for, you know. So I get it all the time where people are like, yeah, I mean, I have this and this and this in my collection. If I add this amp to it, do you think it would fit in? And I'll give you an honest answer about it, because I don't get anything from these companies. Like, if you buy an EVH EL34 because you watch my video, EVH doesn't send me a check. They don't even know you bought it because of me. You know, it doesn't work that way. I'm just here for you, not for the companies. And if the companies happen to make really good gear, well, then it's a win-win for everybody. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to tell you that I think it's amazing, and if you're looking for something that's like the piece of gear that I'm playing right now, then maybe you should consider getting it too. You know, but if there's things about that piece of gear that I wish they would change, or, you know, maybe some options or features that are missing from it, I'll definitely let you know about that, because I'm a huge options guy, and I'm also that one thing kind of guy too, you know, where I buy something, and if it's got that one thing I hate, I won't keep it. I'll send it right back. In fact, perfect example, this guitar, the whammy bar in it, it pops in and it tightens with a set screw. And I even said to myself, if this thing comes and it's got that stupid whammy bar that pops in with those 2 white bushings on it, I'm going to pack it up and send it back before I even play 1 chord on the guitar. I won't even play it because I'm that one thing kind of guy. And that matters to me because I don't want to keep replacing bushings on a whammy bar every time I pop it out and put it back in. If I have to put it in a case or whatever, it would have really pissed me off if they did that. But they didn't. They put in the proper type of whammy bar and the tightening system, again with the set screw. And right there I was like, all right, that's good. Now this guitar is becoming more of a keeper. It's getting in more into the keeper category. Now I just hope I like the pickups and the fit and finish of the guitar and everything else, and obviously I do. But like I said, if it did have that whammy bar with the bushings on it, I would have sent it back. And I want to tell you guys about that stuff. When I'm reviewing gear, I will totally tell you about it because you might be that person too, just like me, where you're like, oh, I love it. Oh, that's great. Oh, it sounds great. And he's talking about all these great features. Ooh, oh, it's got that thing. Ooh, thanks for letting me know. Now I'm not going to buy that thing. So I'm not here to talk you into buying anything or out of buying anything. I'm here to present the gear for you the best way I can, give you all the features and all the different idiosyncrasies about it and the pluses and minuses so that you can make an educated decision. That's what this channel is all about. So I really want you guys to come here and get that kind of information. And I want you to have a place where you can go and know that you get the truth from me. And I'm here for you. I'm not here for Schecter. I'm not here for Ernie Ball. I'm not here for EVH or Diesel or Engel. I'm not here for these companies. I'm here for you. That's what this channel is built on, your trust in me. That's the only thing that we can have that will keep this channel going. Because if I lose that trust with you, I don't have a channel anymore. There's no reason for me to go live or do any more videos, because why would you watch a guy that just lies, covers things up, and manipulates the sound so that it sounds good so that you'll buy the piece of gear, only to find out that it's not really up to par. And after a while, you just lose your trust in a guy like that. And I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the guy that just is super honest with you. And I'll be respectful to the gear companies. I mean, I'm not here to rag on gear, but I will tell you what I think. I mean, perfect example. The EVH Stealth. Love the amp. All 3 channels are amazing. I wish it had MIDI. If it had MIDI, it would be one of the most perfect amplifiers out there, but it doesn't. Does that matter to you? Well, that's up to you. Maybe you don't need MIDI. But for the guy who is watching right now that is like, I have to have MIDI, well, at that point, he'd probably be grateful that I actually told him that. And it's important to know these things before you make decisions, because you're spending, your hard-earned money on this stuff, and who wants to get a product and wait for it to come and then have all that excitement and have it come to your house and you open it up and you play it and you're like, oh man, I'm so disappointed. Now I got to box this thing up, drive down to the UPS store and send it back and pick something else out. I mean, I don't want to be somebody that's responsible for that happening to you. I want you to be excited about the piece of gear that you get, and for you to unbox it, plug it in, and have it be everything that you wanted it to be, and no lies are attached to it. It's just honest. Now, the caveat to all that is, we all have different tastes on things, and you're only hearing things with your ears when you watch the show. You're only hearing with your ears, but we also listen with our hands. So once you plug into it and your hands have some say over whether or not you like it, that might change things a little bit, but I'm doing the best I can for you so that you can make an educated decision on all of your gear purchases. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And to all my patrons and subscribers, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed, please do, and click the bell so that you can be notified every time I either go live on Wednesday nights at 8 or Sunday nights at 7, or come out with a new episode. Well, I got a lot of great stuff coming up, and I'll see you on the next one.